September 8, 2022. Windsor Castle, 11:47 p.m. As Queen Elizabeth II lay dying, she whispered her final instructions to Sir Edward Young, her most trusted private secretary. Destroy the files in Safe 7, all of them. The family must never know how much I watched, how much I recorded, how much I controlled. What Sir Edward discovered in that safe would have shattered the royal family's understanding of their lives for the past 70 years. Elizabeth hadn't just been their queen, she had been their watcher, their controller, their puppet master, operating the most sophisticated surveillance network in British history. Every conversation recorded, every movement tracked, every secret documented in files that could destroy the monarchy if they ever became public. The woman they thought they knew had been running a shadow intelligence operation that would make MI5 jealous. But the most shocking discovery wasn't the extent of her surveillance, it was how she had used the information to manipulate every major royal decision for 7 decades. The beginning of everything. February 6, 1952, the day Elizabeth became Big Sister. Elizabeth's transformation from princess to surveillance queen began on the day she inherited the throne at age 25. Her first private meeting wasn't with the Prime Minister or the Archbishop of Canterbury. It was with Sir Stuart Menzies, head of MI6. "Your Majesty," Sir Stuart explained during their secret conference at Buckingham Palace, "the monarchy's survival depends on information control. You must know everything about everyone, including your own family, before they can damage the institution." "What are you suggesting?" "A comprehensive intelligence network. Palace staff, private secretaries, bodyguards, even family friends, all reporting directly to you. Every indiscretion, every affair, every financial problem, every political opinion, nothing can be allowed to surprise you." Elizabeth, still grieving her father's death and overwhelmed by her new responsibilities, made a decision that would define her reign. "Set it up. I want to know everything. Even about your own family, ma'am. Especially about my own family." That conversation led to the creation of Operation Crown Watch, a surveillance program so secret that only Elizabeth and her intelligence coordinator knew of its existence. The network architecture. Level 1. The Inner Circle. Private secretaries required to report all family conversations. Personal protection officers instructed to document all activities and visited. Dressers and valets trained to notice and report behavioral changes. Level 2. The Extended Network. Palace staff. Cleaners who could access private spaces and documents. Drivers who overheard car conversations and knew all destination. Telephone operators who monitored and sometimes recorded calls. Level 3. The External Asset. Society photographers who reported on royal behavior at private event. Hotel managers who provided information about royal visits and guests. Even hairdressers who gathered intelligence during private conversation. Don't miss this shocking revelation: how Elizabeth monitored Diana from day one. The Diana surveillance. Watching the People's Princess. Elizabeth's most intensive surveillance operation targeted Diana Spencer from the moment she began dating Charles. What the public saw as a fairy tale romance was actually a carefully monitored intelligence operation. Pre-marriage phase, 1981. Elizabeth assigned Agent Sarah Bradford, codename Rose, to befriend Diana and report on her suitability as a royal bride. "Your Majesty," Agent Rose reported after 3 months of friendship with Diana, "she's emotionally immature, romantically naive, but has genuine compassion for people. She could be molded into an effective royal, but she'll require careful management." Elizabeth's response was telling. "Then we'll provide that management, every step of the way." Diana never knew that her new friend Sarah was reporting her every comment, fear, and hope directly to the Queen. Marriage monitoring, 1981 to 1992. After the wedding, Elizabeth's surveillance of Diana intensified dramatically. Bedroom surveillance. Hidden recording devices in Diana's private apartments captured her phone calls, including conversations with friends about her marriage problems. Staff infiltration. Diana's personal staff included at least 3 people reporting directly to Elizabeth, including her private secretary and her bodyguard. Medical monitoring. Even Diana's doctors were required to provide confidential reports about her mental and physical health to Elizabeth's medical team. Social circle mapping. Elizabeth maintained detailed files on everyone Diana befriended, including their backgrounds, potential influences, and possible security risks. You won't believe what Elizabeth recorded about Charles and Camilla. The Charles-Camilla Files, 1970-2005, documenting the affair. Elizabeth's most damaging surveillance targeted her own son's decades-long affair with Camilla Parker Bowles. The files revealed that Elizabeth knew about every meeting, every phone call, every secret rendezvous for over 30 years. The early years 1973. Wanahashan Farody Wanbor, de Tirar 1, to QRE Pekiv Sao, when Hicks to Aston Builder, the Fadaway, to Isvaran Paulson Lardy Jupper Chiefs Bermanikin. The little Bixen Hanum waits which Dempadia. One tour teak ubel handpies a supply chain. The lolva spectru fold wool tour tabial terror. Have a suck to use one email. To we then entered Folcum stolter world toward Rome. Elizabeth's agents documented Charles and Camilla's initial relationship in obsessive detail. File entry, July 15, 1972. Charles spent the night at Camilla Shand's flat. Left at 6:47 a.m., appeared emotionally attached. Recommend monitoring for potential marriage discussions. File entry, March 3, 1973. 1973. Camilla Shand engaged to Andrew Parker Bowles. Charles devastated, but attempting to appear supportive. High probability of continued emotional attachment. The affair documentation, 1980 to 1997. Elizabeth's surveillance of the Charles-Camilla affair was so comprehensive that she had recording devices placed in Camilla's home phone, Charles's private line at Highgrove, both their cars during the 1990s, even Camilla's friends' houses where they met secretly. Recorded conversation, April 12th, Charles, I wish we could just disappear together. Camilla, what about Diana and the boys? Charles, they'd be better off without me anyway. Elizabeth had this conversation, and hundreds of others, stored in her private vault. The divorce strategy, 1992-1996. Most shocking was Elizabeth's role in orchestrating Charles and Diana's divorce while maintaining public neutrality. Intelligence brief, January 15, 1992. Recommend allowing Charles-Diana separation to proceed. Diana becoming increasingly unstable and unpredictable. Camilla provides Charles emotional stability necessary for future kingship. Manage public perception through controlled media leaks. Elizabeth wasn't just aware of the affair, she was strategically managing it for the monarchy's benefit. Don't miss this explosive discovery, how Elizabeth monitored William and Harry, the next generation surveillance. Watching the future kings. Watching the future kings. But Elizabeth's surveillance extended to her grandsons from childhood, documenting everything from their academic performance to their romantic relationships. William's file, codename Wills. Psychological evaluations from age 10 onward. Complete academic records from Eton and St. Andrews. Detailed reports on his relationship with Catherine from their first meeting. Documentation of his mental health struggles after Diana's death. Records of every conversation about his mother and the circumstances of her death. File entry, September 15th, 2001. William asked his bodyguard why his mother really died. Provided approved response about paparazzi chase. Recommend increased psychological monitoring. Boy still processing trauma in potentially problematic ways. Harry's file, codename Spare. Documentation of behavioral problems from childhood. Complete records of his substance use during teenage years. Intelligence reports on his military service and relationship. Detailed surveillance of his relationship with Meghan from their first date. Records of family conversations about his suitability for royal duties. Surveillance report, May 3, 2016. Harry introduced American actress to family friends. Background check reveals divorced, politically liberal, strong feminist views. Recommend continued monitoring. Potential for significant disruption to family dynamics. Elizabeth knew about Meghan Markle and assessed her as a threat years before their engagement became public. The Camilla Operation, 2000-2005. Manufacturing acceptance. Elizabeth's surveillance network didn't just watch, it actively manipulated public opinion to prepare for Camilla's eventual role as queen consort. Operation Gradual Acceptance. Phase 1. Intelligence Gathering. Elizabeth's agents monitored public reaction to Camilla's rare appearances, documenting exactly which aspects of her behavior generated positive or negative responses. Phase 2. Image Crafting. Based on surveillance data, Elizabeth's team developed strategies to improve Camilla's public image, coaching on body language and facial expression, selecting charities that would generate positive coverage, timing public appearances to coincide with royal family successes. Phase 3. Opposition Research. Elizabeth's network monitored Diana's supporters and critics of the Charles-Camilla relationship, gathering intelligence that could be used to discredit them if necessary. Intelligence Brief. March 12, 2003. Diana's former friends, organizing resistance to Camilla's integration, recommend strategic leaks about their personal lives to undermine credibility. Files available on request. You're not ready for what Elizabeth knew about Catherine. The Catherine Investigation, 2001-2010, vetting the future queen. Elizabeth's surveillance of Catherine Middleton was perhaps her most thorough operation, beginning the moment Catherine met William at St. Andrews. Background Investigation, 2001-2004. Elizabeth's agents conducted a comprehensive background check that included financial investigations of the entire Middleton family, social circle mapping to identify potential security risks, psychological profiling based on observations and interviews with acquaintances, medical history review through various sources, political opinion monitoring through university friends and professors. Intelligence Report, October 15, 2003. Subject demonstrates remarkable discretion for someone her age. No evidence of drug use, inappropriate relationships, or political extremism. Strong family values, middle-class work ethic. Recommend continued monitoring but preliminary assessment. Highly suitable. Relationship Monitoring, 2004-2010. Elizabeth tracked every aspect of William and Catherine's relationship. Records of every breakup and reconciliation. Helvite. Documentation of family meetings and reactions. Monitoring of Catherine's adaptation to royal protocol. Assessment of her ability to handle media pressure. Surveillance Note. April 12, 2007. Temporary breakup appears to be William's uncertainty about commitment rather than Catherine's unsuitability. Subject handled media attention with remarkable grace. No inappropriate comments or behavior. Assessment remains. Ideal candidate for future queen. The Meghan Threat Assessment. 2016-2018. Identifying the danger. Elizabeth's surveillance of Meghan Markle revealed information that would have changed history if it had been acted upon differently. Initial assessment, July 2016. Top Secret Intelligence Brief. Subject, Rachel Meghan Markle, divorced American actress with strong political opinions. History of activism and public statements on controversial topics. Previous marriage ended amid allegations of career ambition over personal loyalty. A documented pattern of cutting ties with family members and friends when they become inconvenient. Assessment. High risk for royal integration. Recommend discouraging relationship. Elizabeth chose to share only sanitized versions of this intelligence with the family, keeping the most damaging assessments to herself. Wedding Surveillance, 2018. Even Meghan's wedding was comprehensively monitored. All guest conversations recorded through sophisticated surveillance equipment. Staff instructed to document unusual behavior or comments. Media interactions carefully tracked and analyzed. Family reactions to Meghan's behavior cataloged in detail. Post-wedding assessment, May 20, 2018. Subject displayed concerning signs during wedding weekend. Demanding behavior with staff. Inappropriate familiarity with senior royals. Clear discomfort with traditional protocol. Previous assessment confirmed. High probability of future disruption. Don't miss this devastating revelation. Elizabeth's final surveillance discovery. The Ultimate Secret. Operation Sunset 2022. As Elizabeth's health declined, she used her surveillance network to monitor family discussions about succession planning and power distribution, financial arrangements after her death. family members' private opinions about her legacy, plans for changing royal protocol under Charles's reign. Intelligence report, February 14, 2022. Charles and Camilla discussing modernization plans for immediate implementation after succession. Include reducing working royals, centralizing power, limiting traditional protocols, recommend countermeasures to protect institutional continuity. This intelligence led to Elizabeth's secret codicil and final revenge plans against Camilla. The final recordings, Elizabeth's most shocking surveillance involved recording family conversations during her final months. Recorded June 3, 2022. Camilla, once the old lady dies, we can finally do things properly. Charles, mother has been holding back progress for years. Camilla, the institution needs modernization, not museum keeping. Elizabeth heard every word. This conversation directly influenced her decision to legally limit Camilla's future power. The network revealed, September 2022, the truth about everything. When Sir Edward Young opened Safe 7 after Elizabeth's death, he discovered the true scope of her surveillance empire. Over 50,000 hours of recorded conversation, detailed psychological profiles of every family member, comprehensive files on staff, friends, and associates, evidence of strategic manipulation spanning 70 years, intelligence operations that would shame professional spy agencies. But the most shocking discovery was Elizabeth's final memo. For 70 years I have watched, recorded, and controlled this family because I understood what they never did. The monarchy's survival depends not on love or loyalty, but on information and control. Every secret I've gathered, every conversation I've recorded, every manipulation I've orchestrated has served one purpose: protecting the crown from those who would destroy it, including my own family. They think they knew me, but they knew only what I allowed them to see. I was never just their queen. I was their guardian, their watcher, their ultimate judge. And everything I did because I loved this institution more than I loved any of them. Burn these files. Let them believe they were free. Let them think their privacy was real. But remember, the crown endures because someone was willing to watch in the shadows and act when necessary. They may never forgive me if they knew the truth, but they don't need to forgive me. They just need to survive what I've built. The truth revealed, Elizabeth's secret spy network revealed that the royal family had never truly been free. For 70 years, every private moment, every personal conversation, every intimate decision had been monitored, recorded, and potentially manipulated by their own queen. Her surveillance empire accomplished several goals: prevented countless scandals through early intervention, managed family crises before they became public disasters, gathered intelligence to neutralize threats to the monarchy, controlled narratives through strategic information management, protected the institution from its own members' weaknesses. But most importantly, it revealed Elizabeth's true nature, not the kindly grandmother the public loved, but a calculating intelligence operative who understood that absolute power requires absolute information. Some queens rule through inspiration, others through fear. Elizabeth ruled through knowing everyone's secrets. And in the end, she took the biggest secret of all, the truth about her surveillance state, to her grave. The family she watched so carefully will never know how much she knew, how much she controlled, or how much of their lives were really their own. Because the greatest spies are never discovered. They simply become history,